there's a new app that you might have heard of because it's getting a fair amount of buzz, at least over the last week and definitely over the weekend. Dispo. Dispo is, checking my notes, a photo-sharing social app. So performing my usual service of trying to keep you in the know and on the cutting edge of what the kids are up to these days, let me begin by quoting Axios. Dispo, a photo-sharing app co-founded by YouTube star David Dobrik, released a new invite-only test version of its app less than a week ago and hit TestFlight's 10,000 user limit over the weekend after thousands of downloads in Japan. The app takes its concept very seriously. The screen for snapping photos looks like the back of an old-fashioned disposable camera, leaving the user with only one option, turning the flash on and off. There are no other photo editing features. Photos develop, in air quotes, the next morning at 9 a.m. local time, and users can create various film rolls to put them in. Rolls can be shared between users, enabling them to collect photos among friends or other users as a social activity. Users can also like and comment on photos. Public shared roles have also sprung up around various interests, making it possible for users to interact with like-minded people. The original app, currently in the App Store, didn't have these social sharing features, end quote. Well, that explains my confusion when I tested this out over the weekend. I actually wanted to come here and ask you if anyone knew why I couldn't see anyone else in the app to share my photos with. I've got my rolls, I've developed my photos the day after shooting them, but I can't do anything with them yet because I don't see anybody else. Sounds like it's because I'm not cool enough to be let in on this beta test yet. Though if I'm missing something about that, please let me know. So, does this sound like a fad? Maybe. But then I read Justin Potts's bull case for Dispo that he posted to Medium. Could Dispo be cleverly pulling together several different current threads? Quote, to many, Dispo looks like just another camera app, but what's special about it isn't one singular feature. It's about how it bundles them together. Like Huji, Dispo lets you take vibey photos with a retro feel, like back when people took photos with an actual film camera. Like TikTok and Snapchat, it forces authenticity. Like Instagram, it lets you share your life. And like group chats, it lets you stay connected with your friends and communities in an intimate way. Dispo is centered around things called roles. You can think of these as photo albums. In addition to being a nifty way to categorize photos, rolls provide an intimate way to stay connected with friends. People are creating group rolls for photos with each other. They're sharing handwritten notes. They're sharing the lattes they make when they wake up in the morning. Unlike Instagram, there's an unlimited number of contexts you can post in. Until now, posts have been limited to your public feed, your Finsta, from Fake Insta, an account you use for your 2 a.m. kind of photos, or your close friends' stories, none of which capture all the context of our day-to-day experiences. So Dispo has communities, which are being built around the themed roles. Architecture roles, design roles, plant roles, pet roles. It's hard for me to imagine a way to discover communities or other roles isn't already in the works. Dispo hits all the marks it needs on the product side, but what I find most compelling is the new user behaviors that it creates. Your photos don't develop until the next morning, so you're forced to live in the moment. Snap it and forget it. There's no pressure to get the perfect shot. It's a focus on authenticity over appearance. The authenticity is present not only in the photos you take, but in the in-person experiences you have while using the app. When you can't edit your photos, much less see what they look like, there's nothing to do but go back to what you were doing before, watching the concert, laying with your friends at the park, being with your dog. And because that experience is the same for everyone, you can't help but appreciate the photos from others more than you normally would. They feel more immersive, more genuine, more in the moment. They didn't take the photo because they wanted to flex. They took it because it was worth taking and worth waiting until the next morning for. New behaviors like this are important for creating affinity. Snapchat's UI was purposefully confusing. The learned behavior of swiping to navigate made early adopters feel in the know, and the knowledge was passed down to new users like it was tradition. When you pair these new behaviors with network effects and retention hacks, your photos develop the same time every morning, you start to form habits in your users' daily lives, end quote. So, if both Instagram and Snapchat got traction originally for being sort of anti-Facebooks, more ephemerality in the case of the latter, less junk posts, just photos in the case of the former, might Dispo be the first example of an anti-Instagram app. Gen Z zagging away from the aesthetic of their older siblings, much as the millennials zagged away from us Gen Xers. If there's one rule that is pretty much held true so far over the last 25 years of the internet era, every generation feels a need to have their own platform. From AIM and GeoCities, into MySpace and Facebook, into Snapchat and Instagram, and now to TikTok and maybe Dispo. We shall see.